Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Oh my god, it has been a while, hasn't it? Welcome back to Rants from the Lab, where I give you my thoughts and opinions on engineering, physics, this, that. Right? Okay, it has been almost, 3 months since I last posted an episode? Now, the reason for this very long delay happens to be because I went to my home country, and over there, I lived 2.5 months without a PC and without a phone to record these podcasts. So yes, it's not fun, let me tell you that. But now I'm officially back. I'm back in my lab. I have everything I need, my recording setup, fantastic. I also bought a new 3D printer. Yes. To all people who understand what 3D printers are, I bought the Bamboo Lab A1. Now, if you're not technical and you don't know much about 3D printers, a 3D printer is a device that melts a spool of plastic, which is like a thin thread of plastic, into different 3D objects. Now, I bought this almost 2 weeks ago. Yeah, almost 2 weeks ago, and I've been using it every day. It is amazing. I love it so much. The things that I had stuck in my head, I'm now able to express it more freely. So that's really, really amazing. I mean, I guess that's one. A few things that I have 3D printed is Harry Potter ones. I'm very obsessed with them. I've printed a few kunais. What else have I printed? Phone stands, headphone stands. I also designed this book holder that has a articulate design. I don't think I'm recording the video, am I? No, I'm not. Alright. So I'll just describe it to you. It's in a form of a shape that slides between pages, and you put your thumb through this special hole right in the middle, which turns left and right depending on the angle you hold your book at. And you're able to hold it with one hand, and the pages don't close up. Yeah, it's pretty much a page holder. Very interesting, very nice. Now, I do plan to use this 3D printer for much more, such as selling items. Especially because next month, depending on when I upload this episode, next month being September 25th, I will go to university. Yes, I finally did it. I'll go to university and I'll be studying computer science. Yes, I know it's that overrated subject that everyone's taking nowadays, but listen to me. I'm planning to take a diploma course for computer science, do that 2 years, and then finish my degree in mechatronics, which I've been interested in almost a decade now. Yeah, so that's my plan. And for that, you really gotta work hard. You gotta be very, very interested in what you do. One thing I don't understand, so I'm 15, right? I'm 15 years old, born May 3rd, 2010, right? And one thing I don't understand is how people my age are unable to figure out what they want to do in life. Like me, ever since I was 8, I walked up to my mum and I said, I want to be an inventor. I want to create stuff, right? And she was like, wow, alright. And a year later, I decided on what university I wanted to go to. MIT. Yes, top one and all that. And from there on, I started making sure that I study things that will help me get to the place I want to be in life. But it's not similar for my peers. My peers, they are more of childish. Yes, that's the word. Now, it's going to sound very arrogant of me to say this, but I would say that I've matured much faster than my peers. I have no idea why, but yeah, I've matured much faster. And this is me being trying to be humble. um, I really don't understand what's the reason why they can't lock in. I don't even like using this term lock in because it undermines your situation, right? Sometimes you can't lock in. But yeah, so I have friends who are my age and they still don't have the mindset that's ready for the future and everything of those sorts. Instead, they focus more on social media and friends. I think that's the reason why I'm very lonely and I'm recording a podcast at 8:22 p.m. instead of hanging out with someone. Hmm. Whatever. We'll undermine that. I've always been lonely. But yeah. I think the reason why I matured so fast was because of my mother. Great woman. Um, she really allowed me to. I remember. Sorry, I'm gonna undermine the story, and I'm stuttering a lot because I have no idea why. My tongue is very tied. I remember at the age of 6, I believe, I got my first laptop. It was this very old Dell laptop with a hard drive of like 250 gigabytes and a memory of like 4 gigabytes. It was not bad. It had a Celeron, Intel Celeron. But from there, I started doing research, and not research. I started, at first I used it for YouTube. I'm like a 6-year-old kid, right? At that time, 6 or 7, I don't remember. But I'm a young kid at that time, and I remember 2000. It was 2019. I was 9 years old. After I've decided that I want to be an inventor, I started doing research, and that's when I fell upon my first Python tutorial. Oh my god! It was how to make a Python game. Right? I'm like, okay. I click on it, and I download Python for the first time. I have no idea what I'm doing. All I'm seeing is consoles and stuff. I feel like I'm about to hack the government. Oh, I don't even like that word, sorry. I'm feeling like about to hack the government. I'm feeling, like, wow, adrenaline, pure adrenaline. And this tutorial, now that I think back on it, it was a very shitty tutorial. The guy was showing how to code not in an IDE, but in the pre-installed CLI that comes with Python, where you go to your PowerShell and you click Python 3 or something, right? And it pops up those like squiggly lines you should write on, and you have to save it as a text file and then change the extension to Python and all that. So that's what I've been doing. Oh, I used to do, and it didn't work out at first. I'm like, damn. I'm like, okay, this stuff is a little bit hard. And then COVID hit. Oof, it hit like a truck. We had to go back to our country, and then the borders closed. So I was stuck there for 2 years. And my mom thought, what is the best decision to do? Oh yes, let's put our child into coding. I'm like, okay, let's do it. And the way people learn to code now is so hands-on, so friendly. You know what happened to me? I was shoved into an IT building. There was this teacher, well, mentor almost. He pretty much looked at me. He said, "All right, here is a basic tutorial on how to do HTML and to install the live server extension on VS Code. Go do that and come back to me when you made a pizza menu website." Yeah. So I'm like, okay. I'm just copying this tutorial, and around me there are like 50 other guys on PCs just doing work. Like, okay, I'm just the only 10-year-old kid there. I'm just doing work. I actually made the HTML website. It was a very bare bones, almost like no animation, just a static page, and there was like barely any CSS. But I was proud, alright? I was proud. So I go up. I'm like, yeah, here it is. He's like, okay, nice. And then he gives me another task, and another task, and another task. I'm pretty much learning everything front end. And after a while, I reach into pure CSS. So I'm like, okay, I'm making animations now. And then the guy quit. He got fired from this IT position, so he left, and I couldn't go anymore. So I started doing research on my own, like I always do. And I stumbled upon a thing called backend. I'm like, ooh, that seems much better. I don't like designing stuff. I know. I mean, I don't like working with colors and animations. So I tried out Python, like the proper way to start Python, and I enjoy it so much. It was so much fun. I remember building my first game. I built Tetris, which was actually pretty hard to do because I had to use an algorithm to switch out the Tetris blocks every few minutes. Yeah. And then I had to, make sure to have a little bit of physics, 2D physics, to the blocks drop and stuff. Yeah. So that was that. And ever since then, I just fell in love with coding. I proceeded to do and do and do until almost, 3 years ago, so 2022. It was the end of COVID, I believe. Not the end of the borders being closed. So I'm like, oh, okay. And I stumble upon cybersecurity. I stumble upon hacking. I stumble upon the best show there is, Mr. Robot. And I watch it. I'm like, oh wow, this is amazing. I'm like, okay, let's do this. And so I did. I did as much research as possible. I went to a very, I guess, old. It's not old. Like a 3 year old. No, sorry. I stumbled upon Hack the Box, which I tried to do that. I didn't like Hack the Box at first because it was way too complicated. Then I went to Try Hack Me, and I've been using Try Hack Me ever since, up until now. And I did as much research as possible. I bought courses on Udemy to find out more about cybersecurity. And honestly, I'm very deviating towards the original point. I don't remember the original point of this, how we got here. But anyways, I'm just gonna start talking. That's a podcast. So I stumbled after I did a lot of research on cybersecurity. I reached the dark web. Ooh, so scary. Or at least the proper dark web, which is just the Tor relay system with the Tor search browser. And over there, I went to Torch, which is this search engine in the dark web that pretty much points you. It's like the Google of the dark web. There's many search engines like ahima.fi. There's a few others, Needle in the Haystack, something like that. But I use Torch, and the stuff I found, I think I remember what the original point was. I'm mature because of that. Yeah, I matured because I saw stuff that I was not meant to see. Apparently, depending on where you go, you can find some very wholesome communities. There was this website, no website, it was this tool site where it was called the Dark Forest. It sounds, very creepy, and like you would think there was a lot of bad stuff going on there, but no, it was just a wholesome community of chatters and a forum. It was the Reddit of the dark web. If you imagine Reddit being in a prototype version and there being less than 1,000 people using it. But yeah, over there, I started talking a lot. I got a lot of information, and then we bounce a couple of months later, where I'm pretty much, having a few conversations with these people, and they point me to another website filled with black hats. Yeah, I'm not gonna state the name of this, forum, because I don't want to, I just don't want to say it, alright? But this forum was filled with doxers, with scammers. There's a few hitmen as well, but I never really trust them. I don't think they're really hitmen, but still, scary. And yeah, so I go there and I start being a member there. I talk a lot, we talk, I discuss, I give my opinions, they give theirs, and overall it was a grand old time. Until it got raided by the FBI and seized. I'm like, damn, that's not good. One of the members, the core members, got arrested. Yeah. So pretty much that, and then they rebuilt it, and I'm back on it. And yeah, I was very close with a few people there, but I learned a lot, I would say. I learned tons of methods to dox people and stuff like that. And I remember side rants. This is a side rant inside of a side rant inside of a side rant. I remember getting my first paycheck, and it was back in my country during quarantine, back in 2022, like early 2022, I believe January, where I was living in the apartment condo, and over there were a few people, my friends pretty much, and we were talking, and I was discussing with them like, I know how to do this and that, and a guy approached me and said, "Oh, are you the hacker kid?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am." And he's like, "Oh, do you mind? I'll pay you $100 if you manage to break into 3 Instagram accounts and 2 bank accounts." I'm like, "Okay, let's do this." And I spent 2 days phishing someone and social engineering them into clicking a link and logging in. Surprisingly very easy in my country because we're not that technologically literate. So after that, I get access and I meet downstairs like the playground with him. I hand him a USB drive with all the information and credentials that I changed it to, and he hands me $100. I go up and I see my mom's purse. I immediately put the crisp $100 bill inside her purse, and she comes in. Well, after I leave, of course, she looks in her purse and she sees $100 that wasn't there before, And she walks out and she talks to my auntie. Did you put $100 in my purse? He's like, no. Then where did this money come from? And I'm just sitting there in the background, just pulling my hand up slowly. He's like, wait. I'm like, yeah. It's like, what did you do? Who did you? What did you do? She thought I robbed the store or something. I mean, it makes sense. Like, if you're a child, you have the if you're a 12-year-old child, bro, you $100, you would think, oh, he does sucks up something like that, you know? Uh, yeah, pretty much. And so she's like, how'd you get the money? I'm like, yeah, I pretty much did this and I just came clean to her. And she's like, wow. She was more proud of me putting the money in her purse instead of pocketing for myself than she was about me doing all this hacker stuff, quote unquote. And she's like, please don't do this again. You might get arrested. Just be careful. I'm like, yeah, yeah, mom, it's fine. And yeah, that's how I earned my first paycheck. Really good times, honestly. Now, I have no idea what I took a rant about, but where was I? Alright, I matured that fast because of that whole situation. And back to the original point I was making, which was about how people my age don't know what to do. I believe if you are a person who is about to go into university, take some advice from me. Even though I'm 15 years old, I know a lot. One thing that you should always do is you should always prioritize who you spend time with. Okay? There are a lot of people who will either take hold and exploit you, or just waste your time. And honestly, not worth it. Okay? Make sure to find good company with some good people who are like-minded. Okay? The number one rule of being smart is surrounding yourself with even smarter people. That's my friend group. My friend group is filled with autistic guys whose IQ is above 150. Yeah, so I learned a lot from them. And pretty much, yeah. I'm recording this without a script for the first time, alright? I don't know what to say. I don't know the original points I was gonna make. This is just like a trial podcast, a trial episode to see if I still got the groove or not. I actually had to find, if you hear that beginning soundtrack of like that static noise, I actually had to find on my computer to see if it's still there to use it. Yeah. It's been a long time, but definitely there will be more episodes coming out more frequently, maybe with some more people. It's still gonna be on Spotify and YouTube because those are the only two places that don't require me to verify my identity. I don't like verifying my identity. And yeah, so now you know a little bit more about me. I'm not gonna give you my name still. I gave you my age, so I hope it's not enough for you to find me. Please don't. Thank you. But yeah, life's like that. And tune in next time to peer some more into my life, or we can talk a lot about politics. I mean, the world's politics is going haywire at this point. Yeah, so I think we'll talk about politics tomorrow. On a more oriented episode, I'd say, because this episode is just a mess, a 20-minute rant about me talking about my past life. I'll definitely give you more about what I did back in the day. I also keep it censored because some stuff that are not really meant for the public to hear. But yeah, I'll give you some more tips. Pretty much this entire podcast is just me explaining my life and talking about stuff I like. That's actually pretty cool. Alright, thank you guys so much for listening. That was a very loud bang. I'm very sorry. I'm playing with a 3D printed toy. Thank you so much for being here. This has been Rants from the Lab, and yeah, we're done.